Baby, let me tell you, it's so good to be back home. It is so good to be back home. Sky Squad, we are back in the building. And by building, I do mean my house, okay? Y'all know I've been on the road and it has been a nightmare. But we finally made it back after midnight last night. I'm still tired. I got a dentist appointment in an hour, and we about to get this show on the road. So let's get into what we're going to talk about today. We got some news on Eva Marcille, which also includes Gizelle Bryant and Candiace Dillard-Bassett. We also got to talk about Claudia Jordan and Shamari making a little, statement about what it would be like if they was back on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Oh, yes. And then we got to talk about everything going on in the aftermath of this past episode between Karen and Candiace, Gizelle and Candiace, and the rest of the cast. So we're going to talk about it. Is there a color issue on the Real Housewives of Potomac, as Candiace is seemingly suggesting? We got to talk about it. But before we get into that, let's start with, make sure you guys put your location down in the chatterization. You know I like to know where y'all watching from. Come on, I see you, New York. I see you, Michigan. Come on now. Hey, yes, God with the good internet. Okay, thank you so. Woo. I'm glad to be home too. Alabama's in the building. I see y'all. Come on, Sky Squad. We back. Miami, I see you. St. Louis, Charlotte, Miami, Germany's in the building. I see you. Come on now. Who else we got? Prairieville, West Virginia, Orlando, Concord, USA, South Africa in the building. Come on now. I can't wait to see y'all in December. Covington, Georgia, Chesterfield, Virginia. Hey, Chesterfield, St. Petersburg, Florida, Memphis, Tennessee, Palmdale, California. I was just out there. Las Vegas, London, UK, Upper Marlboro, San Diego. I see y'all. I saw a question that I want to answer real quick. Yes, I will be watching the new show. I've been listening to that song Nasty Girl on repeat. The song is out from the show. So you can download and stream that on iTunes. And I got a lot of thoughts about that. I might have to save that for a separate video in and of itself. But I'm watching. Okay. Let's get into the things, y'all. Let's get into the thing. First things first, Eva Marcille. Now, what's the tea with this situation? Well, your girl Eva is going to be in a new movie. Now, it's kind of a movie series, all right? And it's really it's called The Waiting Room. And it's going to premiere on BET Her on October the 9th. Now, it's really about, dealing with breast cancer and the struggles that women go through when they are in the waiting room, waiting to hear their prognosis. So the interesting thing about this is that, It Takes Two, one of the parts of the series, and there's a part called The Party as well. Now, this will star Eva Marcille, but not only will it star Eva Marcille, but it will also feature a cast that includes Candiace Dillard-Bassett and Gizelle Bryant. So we have more acting accolades for not only Eva, who I feel like is finding a lot of success after Housewives. And I feel like actually it almost feels like Housewives was a great stepping stone for her to go off and branch and do other different things. Now, granted, she's always been doing acting, but I do feel like it re-elevated her. And I feel like it's allowing her to have these jobs while also circling back into the Housewives world, because we know that she will be on the Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Season 2. Okay. So that's working out very well for Eva. And it's nice to see her continuously getting work. But you know what? It's also nice to see that this will be starring your girl, for those of you guys who can't get enough Gizelle Bryant, that we will also see Gizelle featured as well. So, the ladies from Potomac are starting to really make their mark as well. It's been seen how this platform has been great for the ladies of Atlanta, but now it's also seems like we're seeing that the ladies of Potomac are also starting to get their shine on outside of the world of Potomac in terms of Real Housewives. The thing that I'm waiting for next is to see one of the Housewives of Potomac on a show like Dancing with the Stars, or if they ever do something else like An Apprentice. Pretty Perfect Pain says, love you. Happy Tuesday, y'all. Thank you so much. Good question, Moni D. Does Eva have a BET deal? It would seem to make a little bit of sense if she did, because, you know, this is the second thing that she's doing with that network. So I don't know. I mean, I think what it does is it tells me that Eva is probably good to work with, and she's probably easy to work with. And when you are easy to work with, I will tell you guys this, you will oftentimes find yourself in spaces that can create opportunities for you, even if you are more, even than someone who is more talented than you, because people want to work with you. And that really says something to me about, you know, Eva's work ethic and her hustle. I believe she's just one of those people that probably is very easy to work with. And so the network will like that. So that probably answers that question, Moni December. I appreciate that question. All right. So we got some good news in here, and I wanted to make sure we shared that bit of information. So now let's get into some tea. Okay, let's get into some tea. Shout out to our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk for capturing this. And I'm sure some of you guys might have seen this, but for those of you guys who have not, let's talk about it.
And this is me and Claudia Jordan. Hey. She's so beautiful. Like, we're like the Real Housewives of Atlanta 2.0, baby.
One season, one
and done, baby.
They might want to have us back if they want to bring the fire back.
If they want to bring the fire back,
baby. If you want ladies that don't read
down. Because she,
you read down.
Huh?
You read down.
You did.
I
was trying to take notes from you. Because I was like, if I go on this show, I can be nice.
Oh, you fed them down. You
let them come from me.
They tried it.
They
tried it. But you know what? If y'all need some help with the ratings for the next season, because I know it's struggling, we just did a show, but we can maybe be able to find time for another show.
Yes. And the uncut chopped ramen noodles was my favorite. I just want you to know that, okay?
I mean, holla at Andy.
And this is...
Oh, the ratings, the prices. Today's price is not yesterday's prices, so the price is higher.
Yes, it's definitely higher.
At least.
So if you want...
All right, so that was Shamari DeVoe and Claudia Jordan. Now, this was interesting to me because we had just had a report from The Sun last week that we did talk about while I was in California about how, you know, they were saying that executives were looking at Claudia Jordan as someone who could potentially come back on the show to bring the fire. Now, interestingly enough, you know, we got Claudia mentioning that dip in ratings from last season. I mean, you know, she called it out. And then we also got the notion that, listen, it's interesting too that she said, listen, if y'all want me to come back, I mean, the price is going to be higher. You're going to have to come up on that check a little bit more. Would you prefer to see someone like Claudia Jordan re-enter the world of Housewives? To be quite, it would be quite interesting to see what she would bring. And actually, I would kind of not mind both of them coming back. But I would love to know what you guys think. Now, a lot of you guys are saying I will take Shamari. Listen, I like both of them. What I will say is that I do think that there's still an opportunity for the two of them to potentially go back to Housewives AllStars, because as you guys can see, you know, Housewives AllStars is a place where they are actually picking up housewives that were on for, you know, or maybe one season or more than one season, but they're ex-Housewives stars. So I think that the door is open for them to come back to Bravo or Peacock in some type of way. And I would be interested in seeing both of them in that capacity. And I think that would be a good metric for being able to tell whether or not the fans really gravitate to both of them or not. Seeing Shamari on the Encore, I will say that the only thing that I did not like about what Shamari brings is I don't think that Shamari is willing to engage in the drama. And, you know, I just don't think that she's that type of girl. I I don't, because there were times when I really wanted Shamari to step up to the plate a little bit more and actually, have her say and stand up to, the twins or to Keely or to anybody, basically. And I felt like I never really got that from her. And I feel like she never really lived up to her potential in terms of being a reality TV star like that. But I'm interested in Shamari more as a singer, because I think that she has the vocal chops. I think that she was probably the most serious person in the house. And I want to see where she takes that. So in my mind, Shamari, I want you to focus on your single, your album, or whatever it is that you got coming out, whether you whispering in our ear, on some type of, track or whatever it is, or you belting out songs. That's what I want to see from Shamari. That's just me. Claudia Jordan did comment on this and said, "Oh no, I was kind of buzzed. Forgive me. We were out having a good time with our men." So I'm thinking that they were just joking about this, and that is all we will get. I just thought it was very interesting because we did get that report from The Sun that they were looking at Claudia Jordan. Y'all ready for this? Let's get into the Potomac news. Okay, first things first. What I want to start with first. Let's go ahead and get into this. So Gizelle Bryant was on Watch What Happens Live, and she was asked about her feelings about whether or not she was glad that she was not there for the salad tossing incident. And Gizelle says on Watch What Happens Live, yes, she was glad that she wasn't there for that incident. And she also says that, Candiace goes super, well, she didn't really say Candiace goes super low. She just called Candiace's mouth a garbage can. And she says that, Candiace takes it too far. Even the guest on the show said that Candiace tends to take things too far. And so it's interesting to me because this is going to lend itself to, we got some super chats. I want to acknowledge T-Ness. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much for that, boo. Anna Costin says, Shamari can't handle the drama. No, Claudia, she used to call Greg Nene slave, butler, and we love Greg, rest in heaven. Thank you for that super chat, Anna. So let's get into, Candiace and what is being said by Gizelle. Okay. So here we have Gizelle calling Candiace's mouth a garbage can. Now, what I want to point out to you is that first things first, Gizelle has had a lot to say about Candiace, from saying that Chris is potentially riding Candiace's coattails. She's also, she didn't necessarily call Candiace's event low budget, but she did say that it definitely wasn't high budget. So she too talked about the music video shoot and what was going on with it. And she also, what was having conversations with Miss Dorothy as well. So it seems to me like Mia is the only one who is getting the smoke from Candiace with regards to the low budget comment, when there was a lot of other commentary. And with Robin even asking in her confessional, so wait, is Miss Dorothy or Miss Dot paying for Candiace's house? So I'm just wondering why it is that the two of them never seem to get any, fire from Candiace the way, let's say somebody like Mia, who is the new girl, gets it. I just don't understand it ever. It never makes any sense to me. But anyway, I want to move on because this story is leading to the next story, and it's going to lead to the final part of this that I want to talk about. So I want you guys to just follow me. So then you get this on social media. The night of the episode, I believe it was, Karen posted this, and she posted this little still shot of the women arguing at the countertop right before the salad toss happens, with Karen stepping in and basically trying to convey to Candiace, don't talk about the mom in this situation, mostly because, we've seen the story of, Mia's mom play out on camera. Although at this point in time, Candiace does not seem to know, because we have not visibly seen her hear about Mia's mom. But I do have to raise the question, does that mean that she did not know about the mama thing? Because the mama thing with Candiace has never come up. That's never been her go-to. And it just seemed interesting that for Mia, who has a situation with her mom, that is Candiace's go-to, right? Because again, before, we never heard her talking about or saying to anybody, your mama's this or your mama's that, and repeatedly, say it. So in my mind, I have to wonder, did she really not hear about this beforehand? How could she really not know when that is the jab of choice, right? Charlotte says, I would be very surprised if Candiace comes back for another season. At this point, she's becoming a liability. Thank you for that super chat, boo. So for me, I feel like, a lot of times I think that Candiace will go for here's the thing with her. I think she will go for the lowest of the low comment that she knows is going to get somebody right in their gut, right down to the white meat. And that's a style of, of verbal sparring that most of the ladies on Potomac are just not used to, right? So there's that. We have a super chat who says, I know it's off topic, but do you think Cynthia will fit well with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Her and Garcelle needs a side chick. Does Mike live out there? Just real quick, I'll answer this. Just my personal opinion. I don't think that I will put her on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I think that they have enough potential out there in terms of castmates. I do think that Garcelle does need a or sort of buddy, and I would like to see Cherie is it Zampino? Whoever the girl that she filmed, that Garcelle filmed with, that's her her good Judy, who is also, I believe, Will Smith's ex-wife. That's who I think they need to bring on in Beverly Hills. That's just me, off topic, sorry. So Candiace wrote this, and I guess she maybe had caught wind of what Karen has said. And she said this: just when I consider blocking my coworkers, I am reminded that it is a good thing to bear witness with my own two eyes when I'm being sold up the river. Fool me once, that was it. Now, here's the thing. I don't think that, let me get on camera when I say this. Let me get on camera when I say this. Hold on. Let me take this off the screen. So I don't necessarily think that there's anything wrong with Karen sticking up for what she believes, because you have to, your friends are not going to always take your side. Okay. And to be honest with you, there's no growth in a friendship. There's not usually a lot of growth in a friendship from someone who does not challenge you at different points. And Karen, being older and a little wiser, has a bit more knowledge. Also, too, Karen in her after show, she talks about, her being more sensitive to anybody speaking about somebody's mom because she lost her mom. So I think for Karen, it triggers her in a slightly different way. So again, I feel like you can't come at somebody, you can't just think that somebody's out to get you because they don't agree with something that you did. That to me, it's immature, but that's just me, right? I think you need two types of friends. You need one type of friend that's never going to tell you, that's not going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to give you the real. And then you do need that friend who you go to immediately after something happens, and they just going to be like, what we going to do? I'm riding a dime with you. You know what I'm saying? If you going down with the ship, I'm going down with the ship. But you also need that friend that can talk you off the ledge at times as well. And I feel that in this instance, Karen is trying to be that friend to Candiace that is talking her off the ledge. You know what I mean? But that's just me. TJ says this: Candiace didn't know Mia approached her mother, therefore she came for hers, and all of the ladies have reckless mouths. No. TJ, the only thing that I have an issue with here is this. She did not come for Candiace's mother. Candiace's mother was there. Candiace's mother was also interacting with each of the ladies, and she also had a lot to say about everything that was happening. So Candiace, if she wants to be mad at somebody, she really should be mad at her mother. But my thought is this: I don't think that Candiace can actually take out her anger towards her mother. So I feel like it gets directed to the rest of the ladies. Because the last time it felt like she took her anger out, she went up against her mama. Her mama did admit to hitting her with her pocketbook. So, I mean, there's that. I'm not saying that Mia was in the right in that situation, because I think that Mia was being shady. But I don't think that, again, if somebody is being shady about this thing and you go down to this level, the punishment does not fit the crime. So for me, again, this is where I say the ladies are not used to Candiace's brand of retaliation. All right, that's what I'm saying. I think that true, all of the ladies can have reckless mouths at times, but I think that we all know when something goes real low, and that's that. And I don't think we can make excuses for that. But I do appreciate your commentary, because I'm not the type of person that always wants to hear that what I'm saying is correct. And I value you coming into the conversation and offering a different perspective. Right. I mean, Mia was wrong. Mia was definitely being shady. She was definitely being shady. Now, here's the thing. I saw this comment right here that says creative, innovative, all is fair in love and war. Candiace doesn't have to watch her mouth. Actually, you do. And let me say why. Because at a certain point in time, you have to ask yourself, who is the real issue here? If in every situation you are, thinking that you can say whatever to people and people aren't going to react. My only issue with Candiace is not my only issue, but my issue with Candiace in this situation, because I think that Candiace is funny, and I think that she has the potential to be iconic housewives, because if she kept her reads to a certain space, I feel like it's funny. You know what I'm saying? But because it tends to just go super low, it ends up coming across as cringy. And I think that, to me, Candiace's issue is, I think that if we look at K. Michelle and we look at a Candiace, right? A K. Michelle is someone who she came onto the show. She didn't mind causing the chaos, and she didn't mind going in on somebody. But what we didn't see from K. Michelle is her, in the next scene crying about, the antics that she has displayed. So when she throws a candle at Rashida, or when she pops Mimi upside the head with a set of flowers, she's just going to own it. Let's say a Jocelyn. If you're going to be a Jocelyn type character and you're going to be all up in people's faces and you're going to say all these crazy things, the thing about Jocelyn is, she's going to stand 10 toes down in it, and Jocelyn going to run that villain role into the ground. She's not going to play villain and victim in the same flip of a coin. She's not going to do that. To me, Candiace's issue is, you cannot play the villain and then expect empathy from the ensemble or the viewers as a victim. You can't do it. You either need to choose one role or the other. And I understand that people are complex individuals and they're full of contradictions. And I'm understanding of that. But the fact of the matter is, it just keeps happening. It just keeps happening. And I think that's what people are tired of. Andrea says, Candiace tried to use the colorism thing with Mia, but what about Jizzy and Robin? They're lighter skinned and do the same things, but she never gives them the smoke. So what's the difference? Thank you. I'm glad you pointed this out, because that was where we were going next. So if you guys watch the after show, and I'm going to pull this little clip up. I hope it doesn't play. Oh, the sound is not on, so it's not going to play. So if you watch this clip on the after show on Watch What Happens, not Watch What Happens Live, Bravo TV, you guys will see Candiace talk about how she feels about the rest of the ladies and their issues with her when she comes back at somebody. And this is what she had to say. And I thought it was just me. I was wondering if she was hinting at the color issue. And then I was looking at one of my favorite sites, Urban Bell Mag, and they kind of picked up on the same thing. Candiace basically says this about Mia. She says, this big B has been coming at everybody in this group all year, but now you want to come at me because I'm responding. No, not on my watch today. Stop it. Then I get upset because I feel like, once again, standards are different. And when we talk about why that is, if you would like to, and we can talk about why that is, if you would like, but the standards are different for me and for those that look like me in this group, because I respond better than you. Okay. And so for me, this is where I wanted to go back to, Gizelle referring to Candiace's mouth as a garbage can. Karen pointing out, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And now, Candiace is hinting that there is a color issue. I don't know if she means specifically amongst the cast or if she means in general, but I'm going to speak from two different perspectives. If she means from the cast, I really can't answer that because I'm not a part of the cast and I don't know the inner workings and the behind the scenes issues that the cast may face. What I will say, though, is that from the perspective of us as viewers and from the perspective of a commentator, I just would have to say that I don't see this as a color issue. I just see this as Candiace is simply trying to play the villain and the victim at the same time, and people are over it. If you're going to be a bad B, just be a bad B and stop the crying. Just take the role on. Okay. Keep it at what you want it to be. Right. I saw a post asking about whether or not people felt like Dr. Heavenly, they equated, Candiace to Dr. Heavenly. And yes, we do have two similar Yo Mama type situations going on here. But what I will say about Dr. Heavenly, even though she says she's not about to fight none of them, I will say this about Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly, again, stand 10 toes down in everything that she says. And when she apologizes, she'll apologize. But she don't blame it on nothing else. She don't blame it on anything other than that's what I said, right? And I'm going to tell you something. If you know, Dr. Heavenly is from Miami. And what I learned about Miami people when I lived in Miami, they do not run from no type of altercation, okay? And they mean what they say. And if they say it, they're probably about to be about it in about 2.5 seconds. But Candiace, from what I gather, is not about to be that type of person, right? So we have that going on. So I don't think it's a color issue. Also, too, for the second reason is that when Wendy dropped down and got her eagle on and dragged Robin and Gizelle up the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go, we as an audience collectively cheered. If you watched the TV like I was watching the TV, I was literally about to throw the remote at the TV. The only reason I didn't throw the remote was because I knew I was going to lose that thing, and I lose that remote about 10 times per day. So I said, I ain't going to throw this remote right now. I ain't going to throw it right now. But you know what I'm saying? But to me, if we look at it from that perspective, we are definitely cheering Wendy on, especially as it relates to, the two green-eyed bandits. So to me, I don't think that the viewers at all, I don't think it's a color issue at all with regards to the show. But if she's saying within the inner workings of the show, that's something I can't speak to. And that's something I don't know. It's and what I learned from talking about from Basketball Wives is that, when we talk about any type of issue with color, it's not easy to point out that it's happening, and it's not easy to point out that it's not happening. What we can do is go on our individual feelings, and I cannot speak to her individual feelings for how the collective group works and the inner workings of the group. But again, I can definitely tell you from the perspective of us as viewers, we don't have a color issue. So that's how I feel about it. I can't speak to that. And I think that that's something that if she wants to address it, I think it definitely needs to be addressed at the reunion. Address it at the reunion. And I also think that if she is going to make it a color issue, she definitely is going to need to have specific examples of that, because otherwise I think it's a dangerous game to play, because when you bring up a color issue, it is very serious to people, and it is something that we as a group now, as people, are not going to tolerate. So if somebody is saying that there's a color issue and we come to their defense because of it, we need for that issue to be real and not for them to be gaslighting us because they want our sympathy. Demeter Joe says Candiace is not about that life. She's like a small dog, all bark and no bite. And so then that leads me to my other statement that I was going to make, is that I think that, you know, again, it seems as though from what we see on the show, I don't know, you know, Candiace in real life, so I don't know what she's like outside of this. What I can say is that from what we see on the show, it seems, and that's the only perspective that I'm going to talk about, and what we see on social media. What we see on the show, it seems to be that the anger and the ire that she is displaying should be really, it should be directed at people that she can't direct it at, i.e. her mom, or i.e. the women like Gizelle and Robin. And I think that when she begins to be able to direct that level of fire at those women, then I will respect what she's saying a bit more. And again, let's take the cue from a Jocelyn. Let's take the cue from a K. Michelle. Let's take the cue from a Dr. Heavenly. If you want to be that B, like you want to be that, you know, and I'm saying bad B, and I mean that in a good way. If you want to take that role then. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about it, you gotta be so 10 toes down in it that they know better than to step foot in your direction, right? But I think that that's also something that a lot of us learn growing up, right? And I don't think she grew up like that. I think she grew up, you know, probably protected. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that everybody needs to grow up like some of us grew up, right? But most of us grew up, if you talk that talk, you either prepare to get popped or you don't, or you don't talk that talk, right? Especially, and as we grow up, we say to ourselves, like, listen, I'm not even trying to put myself in those types of situations no more because I'm too old for that, right? So I'm not going to talk to nobody crazy. If I don't like you, we just can like each other and we can never say another word to each other. And I understand that they're on a show, so they got to interact. But I also think that, you know, the evidence was also, you know, Mia putting her hand in her face, which I definitely don't think she should have done. But I think at the end of the day, Mia knows she's not going to do nothing. Because she basically asked her, what you going to do about it? Nothing. Scream. And then her basically telling Mia to go cry in a corner. I just thought that was a little odd too, because she herself has basically said that her being able to express herself through her emotions, there should be nothing wrong with that. We should not be telling her not to go cry. So her kind of trying to make it seem like Mia was going to go cry in a corner when we have seen no evidence of that at all. When Mia is confronted, I just felt like that was her, you know, projecting. We had two more. Andrea says, Candiace has a foul mouth and I don't care what complexion you are being disrespectful. You can catch these hands. That goes for all of them. I don't choose violence, but stay in your lane. Exactly. I think you hit the nail on the head in a very simplistic form, Andrea. As part, someone is going to seriously hurt Candiace, and that is why Bravo needs to part ways from her, because they can't say they didn't see it coming. Thank you for that super chat as well. I think that me saying this is not me wanting to, drag Candiace in any way, shape, or form. I just am giving my commentary on what I'm seeing in that issue in and of itself. I also want better for Candiace because I think that she has so much going for herself. She's a smart girl. I think that she is a beautiful girl. I think that she has she can sing. She's got acting gigs. And I think that I just, in my mind, from my age and just wisdom, I see that she is going to potentially derail herself for the sake of trying to make good TV and going that low. That's just what I see. You know, because at the end of the day, when Dr. Heavenly is saying your mama to this person, Dr. Heavenly got her own business. Like, she got her own thriving dental practice. So she don't need to rely on nobody else for jobs or whatever like that. And with Candiace, she's going back to school to get her MBA. So at some point in time, she's either gonna build her own business enterprise, or she's gonna have to go back to work with somebody else. And you just want to be able to still maneuver and it's a game you got to play, and you got to watch how low you go with that. Regina says, look at the clip for next week. Candiace is out of control. Colorism is just an excuse for her bad behavior. Thank you for that super chat. I appreciate that. That was another comment. Someone said, so this is the Candiace show. No, she's a topic of interest this week because of what happened on the show. Similar to when, you know, the ladies were downing Wendy and the way she was dressing, and then Wendy had to explode on her. And we talked about whether or not it was right or wrong for those ladies to go in on Wendy like that. I mean, I guess maybe it's also the Wendy show. Yeah, so it's every one of the women is going to be a topic of conversation at some point, especially on this show, because these issues are triggering for us. That's it. That's all it is. It'll be interesting to see next week's episode, because things look like they're going to be going left yet again between Candiace and Ashley, and then Chris having to sort of hold, you know, Candiace back from, I don't know what she was about to do, but it looks like something was going on. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. And again, I say this because I feel like I want Candiace to have the opportunity to grow, but it doesn't seem like we're seeing the growth. So hopefully we'll see some growth soon. I don't know. Stephanie says, Dr. Heavenly is also laughing when she says your mama. I think it's something deeply rooted with Candiace. I don't know, man. I don't know. Thank you for that super chat though, Stephanie. That's all the news we got for y'all today. There's some more news that I want to talk about, but I'm probably saving it for tomorrow because I do need to head off to the dentist. My appointment is at 1:15, but I had to come live today because we didn't get to go live yesterday. I personally prefer talking to y'all live because I love seeing your responses. Whether you agree with me or not, I like that we can still, most of you guys say that you disagree really respectfully, and I really, really like that. And we can continue to have these types of discussions on a day-to-day basis, and it just really makes my day. With that being said, y'all, if nobody has told you that today, I love you. Tell somebody else you love them today, and make sure you guys look out for the next video.